So the border crisis getting even worse as we're learning that these migrants coming in are providing fake documents, fake IDs, and when they're coming into the United States, now gangs are providing them with fake documents, fake IDs, fake passports, and even fake green cards. Take a look at what is happening here on the first half, and then we'll get into the second part of the story.
So migrant crossings here in Eagle Pass, not a rare occurrence here. And we know a lot of the migrants that are crossing, they have the intention of coming here and starting a better life and abiding by the laws of the United States. But we are learning that there are some migrants who have no intention of following the laws and are actually using those false documents. So in the case of Jose Antonio Ibarra here, he, of course, the Georgia murder suspect. Now, upon his arrival, he apparently gave his Venezuelan ID number. We actually got our hands on that, along with other information. Now, it turns out, though, that the ID number that he gave is not actually valid. It actually has an extra number. So we're working our sources in Venezuela, and they were not able to find him in the national database. When they remove that last number provided, the person that pops up in their system is actually a woman. As of right now, no one has been able to find out if he has a criminal record in Venezuela or if that's even his real name. So he provided some kind of identification there when he crossed. Granted, it wasn't accurate. Some, though, are dumping their IDs altogether. I have come across piles and piles of discarded documents on the U.S. side. This is happening before they're even apprehended by Border Patrol agents. Now, the idea here is that they're going to come in without any form of identification, and they will be processed with whatever information is provided by the migrant.
The problem, though, is that we are basically taking people's word for it, that they say who they are, they're from whatever country they're from. When they say they don't have any criminal history, they've never been arrested for something, like, we're just be like, hopefully they're telling the truth. But we have no real way of knowing that.
Now, first of all, when they're coming into the United States, if they get stopped by Border Patrol guards, which is a if, who's kidding who? They're going to tell you the best side of them. Oh, of course I don't have criminal history. Of course I'm a good person. Of course this and that. Of course they're not going to tell you, the negative. Oh yeah, I've been in prison. I've been this, that. Of course, I'm not a drug dealer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And then the other part of the story here is now we're starting to learn more and more of this, is that when they get into the U.S., and this is actually happening in multiple states, I'll show you here. Quote, gangbangers openly selling fake IDs, green cards to migrants on New York City streets as officials warn of danger. And this is not just happening in New York City. This is also happening here you can see here, criminals selling fake identity documents to migrants in Colorado, desperate to find work, all the way up in Colorado. And of course, we know that this is going to be happening closer to the border here as well. In Chicago, charges have been filed against 3 people after fake IDs were sold to migrants. Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart said part of the investigation started the arrest of 4 nationals for retail theft in the downtown area. They told us almost identical stories that they were being either told to steal things to get money or specifically directed to steal specific things. Quote, they were then being able to either buy or trade for Social Security numbers, iCards, or American permanent residency cards. Wow. During an undercover operation, the sheriff's office bought phony cards which were led to a search warrant. Deputies confiscated hundreds of fake IDs, Social Security numbers, and green cards. So obviously you can see this is a problem happening in states north and south, east and west, presumably all across the United States. And the White House has been alerted to this problem, and well, who knows what is being done? Well, take a listen.
John, there's another case of somebody who was in this country illegally, allegedly murdering a young woman, this time in Michigan. Her name was Ruby Garcia. Donald Trump is out there now calling this Biden's border bloodbath. What do you call it?
Well, first of all, while I'm not aware of the specifics of this case, I mean, that's just terrible news. And our thoughts and prayers obviously go to the family of Ms. Garcia. I mean, that's the kind of news no family ever wants to get, ever. And we would certainly defer to local law enforcement and investigative bodies to do the spade work that needs to be done to figure out exactly what happened to Ruby. And to hold the perpetrators accountable for that. So why don't we let the judicial process play out here before we start making grandiose bumper sticker comments about what this says about the border. And Peter, to folks that are concerned about border security, the president will be the first one to stand up here and say he agrees that the border does need some security capabilities, that we do need more Border Patrol agents. And all that has to happen is for the speaker to do his job, put that supplemental on the floor. Let's get a vote. Let's get those 1,300 additional Border Patrol agents down there to do their jobs.
But everybody in this room knows that the bill that you guys keep talking about as a solution is dead at the moment. And
says you. It doesn't need to be dead, does it?
the bill's dead.
Says you.
When's the vote?
You ask Speaker Johnson that. It doesn't need to be dead, Peter.
There are real problems at the border while that bill just languishes, right? The chief of the Border Patrol is saying,
exactly,
of 140,000 gotaways, if we don't know who is coming into our country and we don't know what their intent is, that is a threat. Does President Biden agree?
The president absolutely believes that along that border we do have significant national security concerns that have to be met. But you said something really good in your question that I loved, that while these concerns are going on, the bill languishes. So what's needed? It's not anything more from the president. What's needed is for Speaker Johnson to do his job, get that thing on the floor. Let's get it voted on. They had a chance and decided not to act because certain people in House Republican world wanted a problem rather than a solution.
As the person in charge of preventing a terrorist attack in the homeland, does President Biden think that some of these border crossers could be in the United States right now plotting a terrorist attack against Americans?
The president's confident that throughout the interagency, DHS, intelligence community, that we're doing everything we can to be as vigilant as we can to ensure the safety and security of the American people here at home.
And I mean, I think we all can't be honestly serious with ourselves that millions of illegal migrants that have crossed illegally and, 10x amount of Chinese nationals that have came across the border illegally, and who knows where they are, and who knows who else has come across the border and we don't know where they are. This is a serious security risk to the United States of America. I mean, think about the other terrorist threats we've had and attacks on the United States, and yet, we have 2 active wars going on right now. And the United States is always a target to these countries. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below. Click the like button. Share these videos with anybody that needs to hear this information. Click here to see a warning about the eclipse coming on April 8th, or click here to see why inflation is killing America right now that you might not know. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.